BetterHelp?
BetterHelp has positioned itself as the future of online therapy.
BetterHelp, the sponsor of this video, is there for you when you need a little extra support to make it through hard times.
Now, I'm sure everyone and their nan's dog has also heard of BetterHelp. It's one of those companies that uses a lot of influencers and big name brands on platforms such as YouTube and Instagram and also TikTok to promote their therapy service. Now, their therapy service is completely online and anyone can use it. Of course, you have to pay, and they use licensed therapists to go ahead and carry out this therapy. But, what actually is this and how on earth do they make their money? And also, what can you expect from an online therapy service, especially if you haven't been using or used therapy before at all? Now, there has been many documented experiences with BetterHelp, not only just the customer's side, but also the licensed therapists that go on there and help everyone else. Now, are these all positive? Absolutely not. Now, on platforms like Reddit, you can find a lot of personal experiences with BetterHelp, as in this one user here, which said that they opened up about a lot of trauma that they experienced that they told nobody else about, and their therapist was dismissive and said, quote, "Other people have had it way worse than you." And it's not hard for these sentiments to be just echoed in this subreddit as well, as another user had almost the exact same experience where the therapist laughed at them and told me that other people had bigger problems. Now that is just incredibly shocking. And as Indigo Cherry points out, completely opposite of what therapy is supposed to be. So I think that kind of gives us an outline of how this BetterHelp product works. And from just doing a little bit more looking around, and including like TikTok comment sections, I mean, I could find a lot of stories that corroborate this kind of like a narrative that BetterHelp don't really care, and they kind of like push your problems down and belittle them quite a lot. And it kind of says a lot about the therapists that are working for them, as I don't really think telling people that already have a lot of issues that they're struggling with and telling them that these just don't matter and it's not really that big of a deal. It kind of just, I feel like that's the opposite of therapy almost. So I mean, so I've tried to have a look at how these therapists are chosen and what kind of people they are. Now, after a quick Google search, it's very easy to come across some personal anecdotes on places like Reddit, which is where I found this one here. It's a woman who was a licensed therapist and starting to prepare her own private practice, but decided to work for BetterHelp in between, maybe get some experience or just get some money. And no, the first red flag is that they send us a lot of referrals in a very short period of time, which often means that a lot of people don't like their therapist and are constantly asking for new ones, meaning just the quality of therapists are really bad on the website anyway, or that they just don't really care about their therapists and send a lot of patients and they're just kind of a bit understaffed. And another red flag is that on BetterHelp, it's just like a messaging thing. I mean, yeah, you can call and you can video call and whatnot, but most people just want to message, and it's very hard to decipher what a person needs when they can't read their body language and the tone of their voice, and truly see how they're feeling. And I mean, as this person said, there was an instance where they were dealing with somebody who had an eating disorder, and of course that wasn't her expertise. So she tried to like refer them, or well, tell them to refer themselves to somebody who was a specialist to deal with this, but the person decided, actually, I quite like you, I'm going to keep on doing it. And on the BetterHelp client, it wouldn't let her put a request in for her to see somebody that was a specialist, and only the client can change and decide who their therapist is. So it kind of shows us right there just a lack of care for anyone involved, really. The therapist and the clients, they're both just kind of being screwed over at there. So, in conclusion to just how BetterHelp run as a company in general, I'd like to say both the therapists and the customers are being screwed over. Really, the therapists are only paid $30 to $40 an hour. And they seem to be overworked and giving way too many clients for what they can handle. Some report that they have to work 7 days a week, doing 7 clients every single day just to make ends meet, which is just ridiculous in my opinion. And the clients don't get it much better either. They open up, they're shut down by these therapists that are overworked, which is no excuse, but they shut down their problems. I mean, imagine if you were experiencing a bunch of trauma and you just told, oh yeah, it's nothing big really. So yeah, just honestly don't ever trust anything like BetterHelp, even if they've said to have reformed and do things differently now. Now, if you were to have heard about BetterHelp before, you probably would have heard about them in a bad light. This is because the FTC actually uncovered that they were releasing a lot of their customers' data to Facebook and Snapchat for targeted advertising when they promised to keep data private, and in their T's and C's, it also reflected this at the time. These are the newer ones, but at the time it did reflect this. However, it was all buried under legal, rubbish that an average Joe would not be able to decipher. And the details of this operation were actually also uncovered. They would actually leak email addresses, IP addresses, and known records such as events. So what you're trauma dumping, they're taking it down to use it for targeted advertising. And this obviously wasn't the first time this was done. As this is a report from 2013, a big American company known as AT&T Mobile started to do this using identifiers and systems and finding rich demographics which were more meaningful to advertisers to be sold to those marketers. Now, if you ask me, that is beyond scummy and just shouldn't be allowed. So, in conclusion, go to in-person therapy. Don't trust any of these online ones. Most of the time, they're just bullshit, trying to extract something out of you for some type of their gain. And the therapist are overworked, not very good, and yeah. So, in conclusion, stay safe. And I'll put up a little thingy you'll see right now of how kind of the entire system works and the funnel to get that information out